Hello and welcome to Book Writing. Your host, me, Harley, who is a full-time college student and an author, so I think I'm kind of qualified to talk about this, so let's get into it. Alright, episode 1 of writing your book. Now, in today's video or whatever, I'm going to be talking about the different types of text. So not just your books, but everything else having to do with writing, because I figured it would be a nice subject to start with, because there's a lot more than just books out there, and understanding everything else, you'll have a better way of understanding how to write your book and all that comes with that. So that is what I'm going to be talking about today. Also, excuse the harsh lighting because I like a dramatic effect. So bear with me, all right? All right. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the fun stuff before I get into the boringer stuff, unless that is your cup of tea, and you can, just wait. So, the first category, of course, is prose, which is a fancy word for, like, novels and books, like, creative writing that's, like, thick, So, it's normally called prose, which I dabble in. So, here's an example of prose. My very own book, Sayberking, part 1 of a 4-book series. It's 3 books in. I got 1 more to go. But this would be an example of prose because it's like, okay, I can show this page. It's like a whole story. Like, it just keeps going. So that would be prose. Short stories do count as prose. Yeah, they count. It's a prose. So novels and books and short stories, that is the prose category from my understanding. Okay, speaking of short stories, this little collection is short stories. Again, that is prose. So yeah, it's just a collection I picked up at Barnes & Nobles. But yeah, I said it a few times. Prose is like short stories and whole books. Now this next category, I've just begun to like enter in. I actually have a collection of poems coming out on my birthday, so I'm really excited for that. But yeah, the next category is poetry, which is like a little bit, not a little, because obviously poetry is pretty like out there. I mean, this is Edgar Allan Poe, like come on. Poetry is its own entity. Like, I barely understand it most of the time, but I think that's the fun part about it. And now that I'm writing poetry, it's fun because I get it, but other people might not. Which is okay, because poetry is really meant to, like, for interpretation, I guess, unless the poet literally tells you what they're thinking, but poetry. Now we have reached the boring stuff. And if I'm going too quick, let me know in the comments. I can't see them now, but I will, and I will respond. Anyways, another form of writing text I considered is textbooks, because that, I don't know, it seems a little self-explanatory to count that as written text because it's a textbook. I don't know what else to say. I've got plenty of textbooks that I keep on hand. There's like some like right there. I prefer to buy my textbooks so I can like keep them and like study them even after the class is finished, because I'm a weirdo. So, textbooks. So, this next thing, I have no clue about because I just thought of that. I thought of it like a few days ago. But essays and like research papers and all that kind of stuff, that's a form of text, right? I've done plenty of essays, plenty of research papers. My last semester at school, I wrote my first like 20-page essay. It might sound like a lot, but it was actually really fun because of the class I was doing it for. But essays and research papers, all that, because those are also needed for like sciencey people, math people, engineering people, I guess. Those types of people use like essays and stuff to communicate. So it's a good form of text to know about. I think you can like write a research paper on basically anything. So if you want to do over a book, you totally can. So I think research papers and stuff like that are kind of cool. Moving on. This next one, well, technically I'm going to talk about like 2, but yeah. Guides, research guides and stuff like that, like plant guides, all that stuff is another form of text. And this is just a one I have on hand. There's that. And also picture books, children's books, all that. Now that I'm thinking about it, that is also prose. Pretty sure. They're books, but I literally don't have a children's book with me right now. So picture books, books for little kids, that would be prose because it's like the creative stuff. But also guides, help people out, so it's a different type of text. You feel me? Okay, we get it. Before I forget, here's 2 other categories that I consider, or are pretty sure are automatically considered types of text. Autobiographies and biographies. Autobiography is a person telling their own life story. Okay, bear with me. Hold on a second. Biographies is someone else telling someone else's life. Okay? Okay. Yeah, that's the difference, I know. But that is, I don't have anything like that on hand, but I might include examples. So that is all I can think of, totally written down in my notes, but there you go. I think understanding the difference between all of those things helps you better understand in which direction you want to write in. But for the sake of this video series, I'm going to be talking about prose because I am personally an expert, or I'm more experienced in the prose area. I read prose all the time. Yeah. Anyways, so that's why I wanted to start out the series by talking about the different types of text. So it's just easier as a writer to understand everything else that's out there besides just writing a novel, if that makes any sense. And don't worry, I have this entire video series planned for 6 more episodes. So I'm really diving into this thing because I am a self-published author and I've been writing since I was a sophomore in high school. I'm currently a junior in college. So I've got some experience, you could say, and I really want to help others learn how to write their books the way they should write their books. Not saying that there is a right way, and this is exactly why I'm doing this series, because there just really is no correct way to write your story. So that's what I'm going to help you guys find out for yourself with all of these little episodes for book writing. And no, I could not come up with a better title, unfortunately. I did have it as Creative Writing 101, but that sounded a little too professional. I am no professional. Though I am graduating with an associate's in language arts. That's like the unofficial associates of English. It's just I didn't take the foreign language. Yeah, basically it. Anyways, I hope you found this very helpful because knowing the difference between a book, a textbook, poems, short stories will ultimately help you go towards the right direction you want to go with your writing. So, in episode 2, it's titled Inspiration, Motivation, and Dedication. So be sure to subscribe and watch out for the next video. Peace.